sun on his face, a glimmer in his eye. Blue blocks cocked, he's a little too high, no problem. You see, it all comes down to a tally of the minutes, the column evens out. So we sip something, have sex, and get money with a smile on the face, even though it's getting ugly. And we tipping up cups for the
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Eli from checkit.com here with the Photoshop/Cinema 4D tutorial on Tutorial Tuesday. I know you guys are all super excited, am I right? Am I right, player? Anyway, besides from acting gangster, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys? Talk to me in the comments. I can't talk to everyone on every single video, so it's pretty much just the new ones that I'm always replying to people on. So if you want to have a conversation with me, do it on the new videos. And also, I always leave my favorite comments at the end of the videos, so make sure to leave your comment and make sure you stay to the end because you might have made it last week. Also, give the video a like because it helps out a lot. And with that, now we can get to the tutorial. I mean, I had to get that out of the way. You know, we need those likes. Today's tutorial is about The Monster. It's a tutorial about Tyler Clark's new song coming out. He asked me to do the artwork for it, so that's what I'm doing. This was just kind of a demo, making sure I could export to Photoshop using a PNG. But yeah, ignore the orange, it's really ugly, but it's not going to look like that in the end. You guys will see the end product at the beginning, so you guys are lucky. You've seen the future. Let's get into this already. Goodness gracious. Oh, and fair warning, guys. This is for a client, so I'm busting out the big guns. I'm using all the products that I've paid for. So let's start off by going to Content Browser. I'm going to go to Grayscale Gorilla Studios. I'm going to double click on this large product studio right here. I'm going to go back to Objects. I'm going to delete the noodle because you don't need it. I'm going to delete Room and Studio U. I'm going to bring down all of these right here. Let's go to the softbox and let's see, compositing, yeah. So we want to uncheck Scene by Camera. Then we want to go to the softbox move here. We want to uncheck Scene by Camera. Same with softbox move right here because we don't want any of these being seen by the camera. And now we can go up to MoGraph. We can make a new Mo text. Let's just name this. Like, I have to do this in parts because of the process. So, Monster. Well, not Monster. Tyler Clark does not have a stutter, alright? Tyler Clark's my good friend, and same with Brandon. He's been there since we started out, and we've been there since he started out, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so depth, I'm going to make it 30. I'm actually going to go down to the font. The font that I want to use is Orion Pax. It's a free font. You guys can find it on the internet. Just type in Orion Pax. Goodness gracious. Alright, alignment, I want it middle. And I'm going to close up these gaps a lot. I want them touching because I like when they touch. What the heck was that? Alright, so yeah, let's select MoGraph text or Mo text. I don't know why I always say the full thing. Go down to Effector with MoGraph. And we want to do a random effector. With this random effector, you'll see this is pretty ugly. Go to the parameter tab and just one everything out. And I'm actually just hitting tab. Whoa, what the heck? My tab went crazy. Alright, so now we want to go to rotation. And we want to just affect these until we have something we like. I'll move them closer in the actual text thing. I actually like when they touch quite a bit, so that actually looks pretty awesome to me. Maybe go back into the random and throw it out in Z space a little bit. So let's go this way. Yeah, that looks freaking awesome. Cool. Alright, so now duplicate our text by going Controller Command C. And then Controller Command V, and with this one we're going to go up to this little weird button right here, and we're going to go to an atom array, and we're going to drag the text into the atom array, select the atom array, and then we're going to go down to sphere radius because we hate these balls. We hate these balls, am I right, ladies? What the heck? I'm going to just bring it down to 0.9. It also changes the cylinder radius, and you get this cool little like outline. It's pretty sick. So now we want to make some new materials. You guys can make materials if you want, but since I've paid for some really cool ones, I'm going to go to the textures right here. I'm going to go to simple. I'm going to drag down. What color do we want? monsters are green. So how about a gumball sour green? And of course, let's go shiny white. Oh, cool. Okay, so we'll go back to the Objects tab. We'll drag the shiny white on top of our Mo text, and we'll drag the gumball onto the atom array. Cool beans. Alright, so also I'm pretty sure I didn't do a caps over here. I want the caps. I want a fillet cap, whatever you guys call it. I'll just bring it down to 1 on both of those. And that means that this one doesn't have it either, so let's put it on this one as well. Perfect. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to copy this text, or this one, it doesn't really matter, they're both exactly the same. We'll paste it up top, and now we're going to get to a plugin that is actually free. It's called Thrausi, or Thrausi. People pronounce it all different ways. It basically shatters your text for you. It's awesome. It's free. I'll put the link in the description. Yeah, so I'm going to click on it. There's tons of different options for this, but what I want is the pieces. I want it in 70, and with Motex selected, I'm just going to hit break now. And this actually takes quite a bit of time, guys, so I'll bring you guys back. Well, quite a bit of time. It takes like 3 minutes, but it's a long time in an editor's world. So I'm going to go fill up my water bottle. I'll be right back. I love you. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm going to click out of this, and you'll notice that you have a bunch of different layers right here. What we want to do is hit Alt and G, and that'll group it together inside of a null. You see, if we click that little plus button right there, we have all of our layers right here. So we want to select them all by hitting Shift and holding it and then clicking on the top one. And now what we want to do is go up to MoGraph, Effector, and we want a, where is it? Random. Goodness, I couldn't find it. I'm going to drag it inside of the null. And then you see all these little red X's, those need to be green check marks. So I'm just going to highlight them all. And now we have this weird looking but cool thing going on here. Before we do anything, let's actually click on this texture right here. Click and hold Control, drag it onto each one of these. So I'm just going to do that. Just holding Control, and I'm clicking and dragging. Perfect. Alright, so now what we want to do is click on the random, and we want to go to the deformer, go down to point. Then what we want to do is go to parameters. You can always mess with all these settings and stuff like that, but what we want is effector, and we want to drop it down to where it's like not so crazy. I mean, it's looking cool, but it was going a little crazy there for a little bit. Alright, and maybe a little more crazy. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to hold 3 and get a better angle here, and click on the null, and we want to just move this entire thing behind our text. And some people like a little bit of things popping through. I don't know if it looked that good on the one I did on the intro, so I'm actually going to drop it back a little further than I had before. Alright, now let's go back down and see what we've made. Really cool. It's actually looking pretty awesome. I'm going to drop this down and just see. I'm going to click this render button right here just to, you know, get a quick view of what's going on here. I'll bring you guys back in a second. Alright, I think I actually want to drop it back a little further, so I'm going to click on the null. I'm going to go up top, push it back, and actually make it go a little more crazy too. I'm going to click on random. Cool. Alright, so now what we want to do is, I actually saw that the the softboxes were actually in our shot still for some reason. Why won't that get rid of it? That's weird. Overhead softbox, seen by camera. Alright. Softbox move. Huh. Alright, there's more that need to be unchecked, I guess. So softbox move, seen by camera, and now it should all be gone. Alright. Goodness gracious. The things I do for good quality. Alright. Drop this down. Move this over. Awesome. I need to have the word "the" above monster, so I have to redo this and I have to repeat this entire process. So I'll bring you guys back after I've created "the." Welcome back, guys. This is what we created right here. It's pretty awesome, but now what I want to do is I want to render this. I'm actually gonna hit 3 and I'm gonna get the camera in a good spot. Yeah, I kind of like when it's under it, so just position it to somewhere where you like. Doesn't have to be anything like this if you don't want it to be like this. Cool. Alright, so now I'm going to go up to the render settings. I'm going to change a few things. So I'm going to change film and video. I'm going to go to HD TV, 1080p, you know, the basics. Save, I want it to be a PNG. And let's do higher settings. And I'm going to call this Monster 2. And this is actually the real one. And now multipass doesn't matter, anti-aliasing, definitely want it to be, you know, top dog, as the kids say these days. And I want Quasimodo on both of these. Quasimodo. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm gonna go high. Cool. And I'm actually gonna turn on ambient occlusion. Goodness, this is gonna take a while to render, but you know what? This is for Tyler, my good buddy, so I'm not going to hold anything back. Alright, I'm just going to make sure. Alright, we're good here. Now I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to go into here, and it's going to start the render. So I'll bring you guys back when it's actually done. So yeah, talk to you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, welcome back. What has been just 1 second for you guys has actually been quite a few hours for me, like 12 hours or so. It wasn't because this thing took forever to render, it was because when it did finish rendering last night, I was really tired, so I went to bed. But it is Tuesday today, and it's 12:17, and my allergies are killing me, so if I sound different, kind of like a nerd with his nose closed, that's why. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, let's color correct this now. I'm really excited, because this is what it did. It looks awesome, and the quality's really good. So I'm just gonna drag and drop that into Photoshop, and I'm gonna move it down, of course, because we don't want it that tall. Cool. So first thing we want to do is create a new layer. We want to hit B for the brush tool. We do not want it that big, that's what she said. We want to make it about the size of our letters here. And we just want to make sure white is our foreground and just paint on top of these letters here. Now I'm going to switch the blending mode to overlay. Finish painting in the areas that I like or would like to see highlighted. And now if you go over a little bit, you can hit E, and that'll bring up your eraser and kind of just erase, you know, overspray. But since you set it to overlay, it actually does a pretty good job of blending itself in. And if you use a different lighter color for your letters and your letters are actually sticking out pretty nicely, you can always, you know, bring down the opacity, but I like them like having that slight glow effect, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Alright, so next we want to grab a texture, I'm just going to grab this grunge texture that was provided by MediaMilitia. They're awesome. Go there. No, they're not paying me to say this. It's just an awesome free site. You can get a bunch of great stock footage and everything like that. It's amazing. Alright, so then click and drag that in. And I'm going to drag this down. And then I'm going to hit and hold Alt. And I'm going to create a clipping mask for this layer right here. Now, what we can do is we can set this layer to overlay as well, and we get this really cool effect. And I mean, you guys can find a different blending mode. It creates a bunch of different looks, but I really like how this turns out. Now let's create another new layer. Let's drag it to the bottom. Make sure we have black as our background. Let's hit Alt and Delete to fill that layer with black. Let's just double click on this and call it BG, just so we keep kind of organization here. Alright, let's just call this main. And so now what I want to do is click and drag main down to this button right here to duplicate it. And with this main copy, we're going to drag it below, hit Control or Command T, and just size it up. And I'm going to just keep doing this. Alright, so now we get this big jumbled up group of things. So we can lower the opacity of all these to get something we like more. Definitely don't want it that crazy. Alright, so once we have the opacity exactly where we want it, we can create a new layer. And let's hit B for the brush. Make sure white is our foreground color down here. Let's size up the brush using the brackets. Zoom out. Alright, just click right above it. Paint in some light. That just gives it the illusion that there's a light above this. We can actually lower the opacity so it's not so intense. From here, you can always just do so many different things, but what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to go Control-Shift-S, save it as Monster 2. I'm going to save it to the desktop, okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up After Effects, and while that's opening, I'm going to decide where I want flares. So, I have this light coming down, and as you can tell, if this was realistic, there would be little flares here, and on the tip of the E there, maybe on the T, and I'd really want some flares coming in on the sides, and I'd really want the focus to be on this middle thing. So what I'm going to do in After Effects is I'm really just going to be applying adjustment layers and adding flares and such to it. It's going to be really cool. So with After Effects open, let's double click into here. Let's find our Monster 2 Photoshop. We want it as a composition. Editable layers. Okay. And now let's drag and drop it down to this button right here to create a new composition. And here's what we want to do. Let's create a new solid. And I did that by hitting Control Y. The solid, let's name it layer. Okay. And then let's just duplicate it by hitting Control or Command D a few times, because we're going to want like 4 flares. Alright. So, effects and presets. I have a ton of them, so it's going to take a little longer. I'm also going to right click, maybe make a few adjustment layers. So let's make this, oh whoops, not double click. So many different programs in this tutorial, I keep getting them mixed up. So let's select it, hit enter, and let's just call this one CC. Let's also make another new adjustment layer. Click on it, hit enter, and we'll call this one DOF for depth of field. Start with the flares here. Let's go down to Video Copilot, and then let's find optical flares, drag that onto the first flare. And now what I actually want to do is delete these other flares. And now that we have this, let's set it to on transparent. Let's set the blending mode to screen, and now let's duplicate it by hitting Control or Command D. Just saves us some work. Alright, so the reason why I'm doing the flares in After Effects is because it looks a million times better. Alright, let's put one right about there. Which one? Put another one like down here. Select this one. Let's put one right about there. And then one more. Let's put this one like on the S or the T. Maybe, yeah, like T right there. Awesome. Alright, so we have all these flares going on, but let's go into them. Let's start with this flare. Go to the options. I'm going to try to find some cool looking flares. Actually, that looks pretty awesome. And actually, I don't really like this flare over here. I'm gonna change this one. It's not large enough for me. Am I right, ladies? That's so gay. All right. Kind of want. No. I want something that is I don't know how to explain it. Something that has a large, like, opening over here. Oh, that might be cool. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Something that just adds to it. Alright, so color correction, let's put it below the flares. Let's go over to Magic Bullet. I mean, there's so many different things we can do. Maybe let's put a EVGA on it. That might be. Let's turn up the size so it's not so intense. Alright, and now let's add Magic Bullet looks. Now let's find something that we like. I think I really like Blockbuster for this, but let's actually get rid of the vignette because we already have one. And what else can we do? I like that slight diffusion on it, but maybe it's a little too much. Lift gamma needs to be turned up a little more. We want it a little more green. And yeah, maybe diffusion is still a little intense. So turn down, turn up the different settings. All right, we're just gonna mess with it some more. Curves. It doesn't need to be that dark. It is incredibly dark right now. This diffusion is just insane. All right, let's cool. Alright, I actually like where that's heading. Still a little intense for me though. Alright, awesome. Now let's hit finished. Man, all these are... Let's mess with the blending modes. Because they're just a little on the intense side. I'm holding shift and I'm hitting plus. I can go through all the blending modes. Trying to find something that's just not so intense but still reveals the flares. What I'm trying to avoid is messing with the opacity of the flares, because then it really just kills it. mean, it doesn't even look like flares anymore if you turn down the opacity. No. Let's just make this fit. That didn't help much. Ah, goodness gracious. Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to turn down the brightness on all of them. Okay, so let's just go one by one. Let's make this one 40. This one 30. Okay, you know what? Put it on top. It's just... color correction. This intensity is killing me here. Cool. Alright, I like how I just did that. Alright, now let's go up to here and let's add in depth of field. Let's just type in blur and see what we can do. Let's start with CC radial blur. See what we can do with this. Straight zoom. Maybe not so much. Alright, cool. And now what we can do is turn this down a little more. Oh, whoops, not 50. Oh, goodness. 5. Meant to hit enter. Alright, so it's looking pretty cool, but what I really want to do is, you know, get the attention onto some of this here. So let's turn up the quality and the amount. Just make sure it's on 4. Alright, now let's move the center to right around here. Cool. Maybe move it a little more towards here. It's looking pretty cool, I guess. Alright, and now we're getting that cool looking blur all over that. That's looking pretty sick. And we can move the depth of field. Let's actually keep it above it. Awesome. Alright, so now we basically have our final composition right here, but I want to add some blood to this image right here. So let me grab this blood splatter, go over to Photoshop, drag it into here, just hit the check mark, and let's find a blending mode that looks good. Maybe, you know, scroll down, found something that you really like. That looks pretty wicked. Ooh, that looks awesome. Alright, so soft light. Actually, I really like overlay more. Alright, so now let's you know, find different areas that this will look good on. So maybe start with right about there. Let's duplicate it, move it over. That looks pretty awesome. Let's duplicate it again. That looks pretty awesome. Alright, so Now let's grab the eraser by hitting E, selecting the top one, and now we're just going to erase everything that we don't want. So I'm going to actually go up to here and start erasing this edge over here. We drag down to there. Get rid of some of that edge. We really don't want it up there. Trying to make it look like it was meant to be actually on. Let me zoom in, take this. Cool, that's looking pretty sick. That looks freaking wicked. Cool. Alright, let's move on to this one right here. Rasterize it, of course. Size this up. Get rid of a ton of that. Get rid of that edge. Okay, cool. Alright, let's size it down now. Really focus up here. Alright, cool. Now let's select the last splatter, rasterize it, and size this up. Get rid of this ugly edge. Yeah, now it's coming together. All you haters are like, it looks stupid. No. Trust me, alright. I'm a professional. I'm sure we need to, you know, work on some of the edges, and it would probably would have been better if I would have used a layer mask, but you know what? I'm just trying to save time here, guys. Alright. That looks really cool. This one needs to be erased right about there. Whoa. She looks really wicked. Sound like I'm like in Harry Potter. That's bloody wicked. No. Alright. Talking about this looks actually wicked. Like scary. Now I'm gonna hit I'm gonna actually turn down the opacity a little bit on some of these so it's not so intense. I'm gonna keep that one all the way up and erase that right there. Now we should be good. So now I'm gonna hit save in here. Let's go into After Effects and let's double click in this area right here and go find the image once again, which is Monster 2. Let's open it up, make it editable layers. Okay, there it is with all the blood in its glory. Let's just drag that on top. Delete this old one. And you know, it's looking a little intense here, so what I want to do is go into here, the blood splatters. Let's just hit T and, you know, lower the opacity on them so not as intense. Now we can go back into this, check out how awesome it looks. Really, really wicked. Alright guys, so with that, I think I'm just going to add in the bottom thing, Tyler Clark, and that could take a little while for me to figure out where I want to put that, so I'm going to end the tutorial right here. Thanks for watching, and I really hope Tyler Clark likes this. I think it looks pretty sick. I'm going to drag these up actually now I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's cool. Alright guys, with that, I think I'm done now, so I'll catch you guys on Friday. Don't forget to leave a like and check out the end of the video for the favorite comments, and I guess I will see you later. So, peace out.
Hot sun on his face, a glimmer in his eye. Blue blocks cocked, he's a little too high, no problem. You see, it all comes down to a tally of the minutes. The column evens out, so we sip something, have sex, and get money with a smile on the face, even though it's getting ugly. And we tipping up cups for the brainstorm meeting of the minds, which the meeting might rain more. London town or Portland or keep that shit wet for the snappy Porsche, the cold-hearted emotions bogarted. retarded. The two-step rep just pays retarded. So who gon' love what they can't see? You got a vision, but it isn't one they want you to be. 91 style rap, I'm new jack in the beat. Cold sipping on a cold 211 is cheap. So what? I sip that hard and go way harder. My liver's looking at me like I'm fucking his daughter. My 40's looking like he wants to kill him regardless. But we live another night just to fight in the morning. We patch the pain and mind the gap. The everyday struggle just to find that map. I sip up and lean back, toke up those greenbacks. Mean a little something different to the people getting taxed. When I see what I see, I just can't believe how our shortfalls can shape our motives, to turning our mistakes into our vultures. So if we eat or if we starve, we still gon' work and do a good ass job, cause we've come too far to let nights escape. It's that price we pay when we fight for days.
Pragmatically approach, they all Warren Buffett it. Fraggle Rock, we get it in where the Muppets is. They play Gorgs, we ball beyond Borg. We are what we are, entrenched in our hordes. We live where we comfy.